Welcome back to Rushdown Radio, where we punch up, not down. There's no shortage of sci-fi games, but when I say that, I don't mean the kind where everything's about how humans are trash and robots are rising. I mean the good stuff. Mass Effect, Prey, Borderlands 2. Games that give you messy, character-driven space adventures. Lately, sci-fi feels more like a lecture than a journey, and I've been waiting for something that hits different. That's why I had some hope for Steel Seed. Yeah, it checks off the usual boxes: AI supremacy, human extinction, a ruined Earth. But maybe it would add something new. Maybe it would have a spark. And to its credit, it tries. Just not enough. The game stars Zoe, a cyborg who wakes up in a world where humans are gone and machines run the show. She's got vague memories, a talking drone sidekick named Kobe who speaks in beeps, and one goal: find and restore her father, whose mind has been split into fragments and hidden throughout an underground facility. An AI named S4VI steps in to help, claiming to have worked with her dad and offering guidance as you collect the shards. It's the kind of setup that could work. There's mystery, personal stakes, and a world in decay, but it never pulls you in. Zoe's supposed to be discovering this world alongside the player, but she's so emotionally flat that she ends up being more of a tour guide than a character. Her attempts at sarcasm land like skipped dialogue boxes, and her dynamic with Kobe? It wants to echo iconic robot duos, but without chemistry or charm. It just comes off like two background props trying to have banter. What really drags the story down is its attempt to sound profound. It gestures at big themes: free will, identity, purpose, but only in passing. No one evolves. No one wrestles with anything meaningful. There's one character who shifts their stance, but it's less an arc and more like they changed their mind over lunch. There are flashes of something deeper here: a sad line, a moment of levity, but nothing that sticks, nothing that feels earned. Gameplay-wise, the first thing you need to know is this game is in a committed relationship with ledges. You'll be climbing, shimmying, sliding, and wall running like it's a parkour simulator with a grudge. At first, it feels like setup for something bigger, but it never changes much. The traversal doesn't evolve so much as it loops, and after a while, it stops feeling like movement and starts feeling like padding. When you're not hanging off a wall, you're sneaking around enemies. The game strongly favors stealth, mostly because going in loud is a quick way to get surrounded and deleted. Fortunately, or unfortunately, stealth is brain dead simple. The enemies are clueless, the hiding spots are everywhere, and Kobe can mark or explode targets for you. It's not clever or satisfying. It's just easy. Eventually, you'll have to fight, and when that happens, it's fine. Functional. You've got a light attack, a heavy, and a dodge with slow-mo if timed right. But there's no depth, no room to experiment. It feels like something the devs added because they had to, not because they had a vision for it. And with only a handful of enemy types, the fights start feeling like an obligation instead of a thrill. You're better off gaming the AI, climb a ledge, step out of bounds, let them reset, rinse and repeat. Now here's the thing. Steel Seed does look good. Genuinely. Some of the environments are gorgeous, haunting even. There's one area late in the game where metal trees try to mimic real foliage, and that kind of visual storytelling actually works. There are moments where the world feels lived in, broken, and still beautiful. But visibility can be a mess. It's way too dark in key areas, which is frustrating in a game that's so dependent on jumping and climbing. It's easy to miss a ledge or mistake the background for solid ground. And when the world design punishes you just for exploring, the vibe starts to fall apart. Character designs don't leave much of an impression either. Zoe's look is decent, and a few unlockable outfits bring some much-needed color, but nothing about her design feels iconic. Most of the robots, they look like robots. It's competent, but it doesn't linger. As for the audio, let's talk music first. It leans into ambient tones, the kind that blend into the scenery without ever building a mood. It's not that the soundtrack is bad, it's just forgettable. Like set dressing you never really notice. Voice acting is all over the place. The robots sound solid, cold and mechanical as expected. But Zoe's performance is inconsistent. Some lines are passable, others feel like they were recorded in one take after a long lunch. Worse, she repeats herself constantly. Loot a body? Same line. Duck into cover? Same line. It doesn't take long before you start zoning her out completely. But here's one area where Steel Seed nails it. Sound design. The buzz of energy, the groan of stressed steel, the thud of boots on metal flooring, it all works. These subtle cues bring the world to life in ways the dialogue never does. The combat may be shallow, but the audio makes every swing feel like it matters, even if the gameplay doesn't. So here's where I land with Steel Seed. It's not a disaster. It's just a near miss. A game that has ideas, but doesn't commit. A story that starts a conversation, but never follows through. A world that looks like it could break your heart, but settles for being kind of moody. If you've been eyeing it since the demo, I'd say hold off until it's on sale. There's something here, but it's buried under missed opportunities and design choices that don't quite click. In a genre that already struggles to stand out, Steel Seed doesn't crash and burn, but it never really takes off either. If you gave the demo a spin, I want to hear what you thought. Did you vibe with the setting? Did the story land for you? Or were you also stuck shimmying along walls like it was your job? Drop a comment, throw us a like, and hit that subscribe button for more reviews where we keep it real. No sugarcoating, no hype trains, just the facts. May your adventures in life be filled with epic quests and legendary victories.